Mabilisan lang po ito, huwag kayo mag-alala. Tapos question and answer na lang po. Okay. Now, we basically have three approaches for research, sirs and madams. And these three approaches include quantitative research, qualitative research, and mixed methods. There are areas that are not addressed only by numbers. There are areas, on the other hand, that are not addressed only by words. Kaya lumabas ang mixed methods. Ilalabas ko po yung mga summarized design. However, these are just images. I will give you the description. Now, if we talk about research design, sirs and madams, we are referring to the vehicle that will allow you to answer the research questions that you have. Kaya lang gusto ko pong i-emphasize na right or before you even formulate your research objectives, isa po dapat ang ginawa natin muna. What is that? This is the trend now. The trend now is for you to do a literature review. Gone are the days na sinasabi natin, ano ba ang gusto mong sagutin? So what are the problems? Problem na agad. How do you know kung hindi pa nasasagot yung problem na yan? So you have to investigate first how much the topic may or may not have been researched. And only literature review will tell you of that. What do I mean literature review? Hindi po ito yung magsa-summarize ka lang ng literature or research articles related to your intended topic. More than reading or summarizing what they are, i-analyze mo ng konti. Ano ba yung mga research ng previous researchers? And from there, ladies and gentlemen, mabilisan lang po ito ha. Kailangan muna natin i-identify yung tinatawag natin na research gap. Ang research gap ng DepEd, I just learned about this one back last meeting when I was discussing with my Department of Education students. Ang research gap na tinatawag, ito yung inspiration natin sa paggawa ng research. Sa Department of Education, I know that your gap emanates from the following: observation. Ito po yung sa Department of Education. What do I mean observation? Na-observe nyo na ganito ang performance ng mga bata and you would want to give an address to this. Or you would want to address it in the form of a material or in the form of an intervention in general. Yung iba din, exam results. Example, PhilErie. PhilErie is one of the examinations carried out by the Department of Education. And through PhilErie, you're able to categorize the performance of the students or proficiency as to instructional, independent, frustration. Tama po? Now, frustration ang tinitignan natin ng focus. And from there, with these results serving as the reason for you to conduct, nagde-develop ko ulit ng intervention. But wait, ito yung mga wait na gusto kong sabihin. Because if you only make use of this one, nasaan na ang literature review? Nasaan na ang sinasabi naman ng research? More than the actual observation that you have in school. Kasi it's okay to say they have low scores. Now from there, I will develop a material. Kung tayo magtatanong, what was your basis in the development of the material? The scores, kung ay man, no, I'm referring to the competencies. How do you know what content to be placed in the material if you haven't tested the totality of the competencies based on their reading performance? Parang ganon. Be honest po. Hindi po minimeasure ng PhilErie ang lahat ng reading skills. Ang minimeasure niya lang is ESQ, noting details, mga tipong ganon, and speaking. Pero yung mga areas ba na yun, minimeasure niya lahat ng reading skills? I don't think so. So here is what you can do. This could be an option. This could be an option. First, identify a gap mentioned by literature. Look for research articles suggesting that there should be further investigation on the reading performances of the students. And only citations will support your claim that indeed there is a need to support the following observations and results as well. So after natin mag-theory, ito po sana yung pwedeng mangyari. After natin mag-theory, i-identify natin yung mga frustration level students. And carry out another exam. Carry out another exam for them. That's one of the ways that by which we can identify better noon niya talaga rating skill na kailangan na nga i-address. Kasi nga, hindi naman lahat ang nasa miscues lang and the like. I hope you know what I mean. So where are you getting the competencies? Where will you get the competencies? From the competencies identified in the subjects that we take. Diba meron naman tayong most essential learning competencies or anything for that matter. So pwede na ganyan. Frustration level students carry out another test, and only then that you can be able to identify their reading proficiency. Na hindi lang po sana sa field theory. Kumbaga you need another alternative. Pero ito po ay suggestions lang. Suggestions lang. Kasi marami tayong mga estudyante na nag-defend. For example, ang basis nila is yung existing field theory. And we discourage it. We discourage it in a way that you're not using, supposedly, the actual Department of Education exam with something that you're working on as a thesis. Kaya there should be more. Parang ganon. This perspective that I am sharing is still open for a lot of questions. Kasi syempre sometimes nagde-depend na tayo dito. Okay. Now, papakita ko mamaya yung sa experimental using this again so we can just continue. Another my point here is, as much as possible, literature review is needed as a process. Standalone literature review is a research already, by the way. Pero that would entail another session for me to talk about systematic literature review. Ay, sandali. Hindi ko may pa-promise. Kasi may mga nagpo-publish na systematic lit review lang. Wala pa yung actual result talaga. Eh tayo po kasi sa action research, ang hinahanap natin yung result. Yes po. What makes it action research is that it should be fast. May action kaagad. Kaya nga action research. Identify the problem, give a solution to the problem. Pero meron din kasi tayong research principles na hindi dapat malagpasan. Okay. These are the three general categories, qualitative, mixed, and quantitative. Everybody, hindi porke meron kang question na quali at meron kang question na quanti, mix na kaagad. No po. We can have another session for mixed method. Hindi po. It's a way of saying, I cannot discuss everything in a matter of minutes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just presenting you the general idea for you to be reminded and sa ating mga pasimula pa lang din sa research para malaman natin ay ganun pala. Now, quality in general is words, emotions, number, expressions, experience. Quantity in general is numbers, quantified in different statistics. Pwede naman siyang descriptive stat, pwede naman siyang inferential stat, depende. Pero tayong test scores lang din, mean lang data. What do I mean? Descriptive statistics. Hindi ba kailangan ng statistician? Okay, kung wala, i-compare. I'll give you some questions later. So let's take a look at the cartoon. Very simple cartoon. Before I entertain questions, sabi niya dito, 1 in 30 take the free ice cream. That's interesting. So meron numbers na involved. So that's quantity. How did you feel when you saw the free ice cream? Wow, parang exciting pa. I felt excited. So you did a simple interview. That's qualitative. To make it simple, we only have 2 tests. Primary tests for quantitative research. We have survey questionnaire and test questionnaire. For quantitative. For qualitative, what do you make use of? An interview guide or an observation guide. Because primarily, for you to account for qualitative data, you ask people or you observe people. Now, let's continue with the purpose. Ito po, naka-highlight ang quantity as we have noticed. Kasi medyo sinasummarize natin. You examine a variable. Ano po yung mga pinag-compare natin sometimes? Pinag-compare ba natin ang performance ng students based on age, based on year level, yung mga tipong ganon, based on sex? Is there a comparison? Or if there even is a need to compare? Or you simply look for an actual result? Now, actually, Sa IPO, ano kung ginagamit natin IPO? Sa action research. IPO din. Thank you for the response. Maraming salamat. Input, process, output. Okay, maraming salamat. Very active. Ang ating diskusyon. O, sige. Input, process, output. Halimbawa lang po ito para hindi tayo ma-lost. Reading comprehension level. Okay, na lang, no? So question number 1 is, what is the reading comprehension level of the learners? Kasi reading yata ang number 1 ngayon na issue. Honestly, reading ang number 1 ngayon na issue. Narinig ko na po yung direct from, sino po yung head ng DepEd? Ma'am Gloria po ba? Ay, hindi po, sorry, sa division. Sa division office. Ma'am Buyaaw.
Si Superintendent Martin.
Ay, sa Baguio pala. Sorry po, my orientation is Benguet. Sorry. Hindi na siya na Dinibgang ko naman sa Martin. O nga po pala. Yes po. Now, halimbawa po ito, reading comprehension level. Ang input po natin dapat, kapag ito ay reading comprehension level, ay yung mismong test. Hindi mo pwedeng i-gauge ang reading comprehension level by observation. Hindi pwedeng gawin yan by interview. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, rate from 1 to 5, what is your level? No! We need an actual test. So, the input is a test questionnaire that will address the reading comprehension level of the students. Okay, tama po. Stage 1 pa lang ito. So, halimbawa, magpa-test ka, what's the next question? Is it enough na alam mo na, oh, the reading comprehension level is low. Meron tayong tinatawag na, so what? So what if you know that it's low? Siguro alam niyo muna yung factors, like, what are the factors contributing to the reading comprehension level of the students? And how would you account to that? Mas maganda na interview. Hindi checklist lang. Pwede kasing checklist lang. Imagine naka-identify niyo yung list of factors and all the students have to do is to check. Kung checklist lang kasi, kulang. Hindi ka pwedeng magtanong further. So pwede sigurong interview guide. Okay? I hope nakikita natin yung picture. Hindi ko nga lang siya nilagay kasi dyan. The input will now devise the questionnaire and the interview guide. Anything that you make use of in order for you to arrive at the output. The process will now be, what do you do with what you take from the questionnaire? How do you treat it? Quantitatively or qualitatively? It's quantitatively. So, statistical analysis is the process. Statistical analysis of the data derived from the survey questionnaire or test questionnaire. That's the process. Next process, thematic analysis. Because everything that is interview-based will need you to thematize and will require you rather of the thematization process. So, thematic. Pero huwag po natin ilagay na ganyan lang, dapat kompleto. If the question is, what is the reading comprehension level of the learners? Dapat kumpletuhin. Test questionnaire to address the reading comprehension level of the learners. Tapos next question, what are the factors contributing to the reading comprehension level of the learners? Tapos, interview. Interview guide, addressing the factors that lead to the reading comprehension level of the learners. Kompleto. Sino-shortcut ko lang para mas makita natin. Tapos, process, statistical analysis of the scores or of the data derived from the test. Thematic analysis of the responses derived through the interview. So, ano na ang output? Ang output na po dito ay yung declarative version ng question. So, if the question is, what is the reading comprehension level? I-declarative mo lang. Level of reading comprehension of the students. So, if the question is, what are the factors contributing to the reading comprehension level? Declarative. Factors contributing to the reading comprehension level of the learners. Okay, so reading comprehension level, factors. Now, dito na pumapasok yung another so what. Ang tam, yung reading comprehension level, ang tamat ng the factors, tignan to ma. Inito ka, no? Anyan nga eh. Ang mo di level dan. Ang mo di factors dan. Ladies and gentlemen, ito yung nawawala sometimes sa ating process. What do I mean nawawala? Kasi sometimes sa DepEd, ini-ignore natin ang part 1 of the research. Kasi meron na kayong test ng results through field theory. Meron na rin kayong observation. Pero ito sana yung phase 1. Because the phase 2 is now on the development of a material serving as an output. Na-imagine po natin. So how do you know what's the basis for the material? It's because they scored low in the reading comprehension, specifically in these areas of reading skills. Na-picture na po natin. Yan po yung pinapaliwanag ko nung Saturday dun sa aking estudyante na connected sa DepEd Cagayan somewhere. Kasi sinasabi niya, meron siyang material. So I was asking him, what's your basis in the material? Kasi ang parati niya sinasagot sa akin, the field theory is low. Kasi, ano yung naging research muna? Bago yung material na yan. Hindi pwedeng field theory lang. Remember, this is research. We need actual evidences. So, we can do this first. So, di ba, nalaman natin low. Tapos, tinanong mo kung anong factors. Nalaman mo na, connected yung dalawa. Kung anong factors, kung bakit low yung kanilang performance. Yung material mo ngayon will highlight strategies or activities that will address the factors consequently affecting the performance. Parang ganun. I hope na picture ko natin. This is just a loose representation. But it's of me saying, hindi pwedeng ang maging basis lang is yung report ng school.
So that is the intervention.
Yes, ma'am. The intervention now will be the material. And pupunta na tayo sa next phase. Ang next phase na, gamitin na natin yung material. Kasi kung sasaluhin tayo kung anong yung basis natin sa paggawa ng material, we carried an exam and we did an interview. Kaya meron na kaming material. Yes, sir, at the back.
Going to develop one SIM or strategic intervention material for the learners. For example, in my case, I'm teaching science, so I'm going to develop a material for science SIM. Would that suffice the result or the result or the output of the research outcome? Okay.
Actually, yun sana ang tatanungin ko sa inyo kasi you have your own formula of an SIM. Kasi kung halimbawa, sir, halimbawa lang sa context ko etong material na to, dapat na-cover na kasi ng exam yung specific competencies. So man, if there are 10, for example, competencies, mababa sila sa 8, o di ko yung 8, and it will be carried out not in a matter of 2 weeks, it will be carried out depending on the number of competencies that you are addressing. So pwedeng tumagal actually ang intervention. However, parang nag-joke lang. This is the sermon at the mount. Sorry. However, the more or the longer the intervention, the more it is difficult to conclude that it's the material that is serving as a reason for the improvement of the post-test.
Okay.
Nasagot ko ba, sir, yung question? So we can actually have a span. Hindi lang yung material. By the way po, when I say material, buong package na ito. Nandyan na dapat yung time frame, nandyan yung specific material, how it will be carried out, kanino, and the like. I think that's how your SIM is developed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Now, ituloy ko muna, sir, pero sakto yung ating question. You have a point when you said, i-address ko lang ba yung specific na skill. Depende doon sa competencies na lumabas doon sa result. Kaya yun yung sinasabi ko kanina, na hindi pwedeng sabihin mo lang na mababa ang kanilang theory. I hope you connect it here. Kasi doon sa test, na-identify mo na yung specific na competencies. Ma'am, you have a question po before we continue. Ayaw ka lang po, ma'am? Sige po. So, i-fast track ko ng konti. Doon na tayo sa material. Kasi nga meron na tayong phase 1. Anyway, sinasabi ko lang dun sa DepEd na friend natin from, kasi siya, Zambales. Bakit kaya ang sabi ko? Punta na tayo sa implementation. Okay. Now, everyone, sirs and madams, sa implementation po, kaya crucial po talaga ang inyong area. Kasi we do, by nature, it's experimental. Pero pardon me to discourage you, we are not doing experimental research in the field of education because our subjects are people. Gumagalaw ang tao. Ay kung yan ay plant, 100% they are steady, you just control the environment. Lighting, fertilizer, water. Okay, nag-agree po tayo. Ang tamis. Ang tamis ng mga ganyan. Ganyan yung mga matatamis na reaction. O ito yung speaker naman po kayo, di ba? Eh, you can attest. You can attest. What we do is a quasi-experimental. I know it will happen, don't worry. Makapagsulat kasi, pag mag-study na lang, quasi-experimental. Parang magkailangan po tayo. Quasi-experimental or quasi-experimental. Di ba yung mga J accent? Di ba? Quasi-experimental. Okay. Kastoy tikas lang nga kuha na pumalit din niya. Mamaya, nandito yung material, right? So imagine natin kumpleto na siya. Nakapackage na siya based on how long it will be implemented, what specific skills to be implemented, the competencies in specific to be addressed. It's all in the material. Now you have to carry it out. Quasi-experimental because hindi naman natin alam kung sino yung mga frustration levels talaga. Random yan. Hindi mo naman pinili. Oy, frustration. Mukha kang frustration level. Wow, face value. Face value, wag naman. So, randomization. Randomization is important. Halimbawa ng randomization na sinasabi ko, hindi ina-assign kung sino ang pupunta sa isang classroom. Yes po, we can do the dancing while we hindi ina-assign yung pupunta sa isang classroom. Technically, ang nangyayari doon, di ba, how do you classify din po ba? Hetero? Yes po. Awanan by average. Kung may ganun sana na may average, eh wala ng randomization doon. Kasi in-arrange mo student intentionally using average. So, pwedeng one sample. One sample in what sense? One class only. Regardless of who the frustration level students are, i-carry out mo pa rin. Kasi nga unfair ko na ganito. Akin yung nakakila. Akin yung si classmates me. So, i-generalize mo, gawin mo lahat sa klase nila. Ang piliin mo lang na result later ay yung mga results na performance ng frustration level students. What is important there is everybody will try the strategy. Now, one class, kapag one class yan, pre-test, post-test lang. To illustrate it simply, pre-test, intervention, post-test. Ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina, sir. How long is the intervention? Meron tayong tinatawag na internal validity. Ito yung dapat nating addressan. Kung natin daduma. Obvious mad na sumang post-test. Kasi yung ginagawa ng iba, kung anong pre-test, siya din post-test. After ng intervention. Actually, hindi po dapat ganun. Dapat same level lang of difficulty. But not repeating the same exam that they had here, implementing the program in a common material, and then having the same exam. Oh no. Obviously, sumang-at talaga kung nagkidaduma. Pero actually po, it's not the result. Not the result that we are looking at kung quasi-experimental. Ang tinitignan natin yung process. Kas anong na maibaga, nga increase i post-test kat gapo di tama intervention. So, anya inaramid mo i classroom, anya imparamid mo kanya the outside of the classroom, because you cannot see them outside of the classroom, right? They don't know what they're doing. Baka supported pala sila ng technology pagka-uwi. Mas better pa sa technology that we have in the classroom. So, pwede maraming factors that allow for the increase in the post-test. So, anya nga ta, timabaling na usaran tayo for us not to threaten internal validity of your material. So, we can interview them. Nasabi na pa natin kanina. So, gawin mo yung material sa classroom, tapos after some time, you can interview them. Ano yan, tinarik na yung ngayon? Ano ba yan? Huwag mong English eh, huwag ba? So, how did you feel? Ay, wala na validity. Because you have to reach the students then in a level that they are comfortable while they respond honestly to what they have experienced with the material. Pero ito ay one class lang. Now, it's not all the students that we should interview. Yung direct na nakakakita ng kanilang performance. Interview the other teachers, interview your parents, the parents. So, ang nangyayari kapag ganon, you're having a multiple source of data. students, parents, teachers. Ito yung tinatawag natin na triangulation in terms of validation. Kung ayaw mo na mag-interview sa mga bata kasi they're not comfortable, palitan mo yung students ng interview, gawin mong journal. Pasulatin mo sila ng experience. And medyo sorry for the sake of the research, gawin natin assignment konti. Every after class, when you head home, please write about what you have experienced. Kung tsaba si parents, would you mind guiding them na isulat dapat mo dati malpas? Hindi naman naasahan mahaba ang response eh. Ang responses lang ng mga yan kat mga one paragraph with 5 sentences. Kasi nga they are not aware of what is happening. And that's the ethics of having to conduct this kind of research. So triangulation as the source of data and triangulation as well for you to treat internal validity. Ibang usapan na naman kung dalawang klase. Ito po kasi one sample, pre-test, post-test. One sample pre-test, post-test. We also have in-between classes. In-between classes meaning 2 classes. For example, this is the typical that we know of, 1 experimental class and 1 control group. Si control, wala kang ibibigay. How many sections po ba do we have for grade 4, for example?
5.
Okay, there are 5 sections. Sorry na lang, medyo gawin nyo sa lahat. Unfortunately, kailangan nyo gawin sa lahat. Kasi kung 5 sections sila, tapos yung experimental group, ang galing-galing kasi meron pa yung material, alin inaapal, team and control. And the thing here is, kapag nag-implement tayo, for example, 2 weeks or more, dito sa experimental group, ginawa mo ng 2 weeks, napaka-exciting siguro ng material, kaya yung kanilang mga performances, sigawan and everything. And then dito kasi, wala kang intervention. You just teach them directly as to the usual strategy that you have. Part of research will say, kapag tapos mo na yung research data, gawin mo rin sa kabila yung ginawa mo sa experimental. Just to let them experience. Right? Tapos ako na, apin yung isudalakang, so the sound favorite. Damo kasi lang pinaglaruan. Anyway, gawin mo rin sa kanila yung ginawa mo dito. Pero ang i-consider mong data for your research is what you have in the first experimental. So, sino ang i-interview? Yung nasa experimental. Sino ang mag-validate through journal or through parents? Experimental. Because again, we are limiting threat to internal validity. Tapno, in the event na nagpa-exam pati post-test, kat nangat-nato talaga sa experimental group compared to the control group, meron kang pang-justify. Mahirap i-infiltrate ang bata, mahirap i-infiltrate ang families, kaya wag po nating aasahan na kumpleto ang data makukuha mo. O kailan naging ma-imagine ka tinag-mamayang responses from them. Mahihirapan ka pa, that's one. Module na eh. Module na eh, interview result pa kaya? Or journal. Kaya ito po yung talagang tinarakian sometimes. We have to make do of our connections. I don't know, friend mo ni parent akat o di wow, one potential source of data. And we have to admit, ayaw ng parent ang matagalan. 50 points quiz na ang hirap-hirap yan sa students, for example. Kaya sometimes nag-shift na lang tayo sa quality. Kaya dapat i-check-check lang. Ayaw nila ng record. Yun pa ang isa, ayaw nila ma-record. So what we do is filled, no? Na habang nagkukwentuhan siguro kayo dyan, oy, ang marites naman. Tapos gano'n na lang, pero ideal mo na yung ideal. Kasi in the actual conduct, tatagal. That's why experimental, quasi-experimental is actually longitudinal. Mahaba-habang process po ito. Hindi yung basta na lang na meron ka ng data and you will come up with a write-up. Pero good thing for this one, bakit? Di mo na kailangan ng statistician kung hindi ka magko-compare. If you will not compare by sex, if you will not compare by your level, kukunin mo lang yung comparison ng pre and post-test, test results lang. Kung 20 points halimbawa yung test, 18 to 20 points means high. Ganun lang. Pero hindi ko sinasabing 20 point lang. Depende doon sa grade level na ina-address natin at saka yung competencies na dagdag doon sa exam. Diba meron pong required number of items depende sa grade level? Kasi hindi rin naman mag-i-exam ang mga grade 3, for example, ng talagang mahaba-haba. Kaya I understand, kinukuha na natin sa theory with the miscues, pero nag-generalize kasi yung kanilang comprehension from there. Pero actually po, it's not testing their level of comprehension, pardon me. The Phil-Erie is only classifying them as to the 3 classifications of readers that we have. Nabasa ko lang dito. Nabasa ko lang. But I love the Phil-Erie. I love the Phil-Erie. Baka medyo may issue po tayo with the Department of Education. I love Sir Martin. Ganun po sana. Ito po yung parang general way. So, you started with one research, phase 1. Ito po yung questions kanina of the IPO. And the next phase is the implementation. That's another research. So can you package 2 different research in one? Yes. You can package this as one research and package the implementation and evaluation of the material as another research. Where do you get the data? Di ba dito sa P1 kanina, nag-interview ka muna at saka nagpa-test? Dito naman, the data will come from the journal, the set of interviews that we'll conduct, and whatsoever. Parang ang dali-dali po, no? Ito lang po, ito lang. Actually, it takes time. Kaya mahirap po sa atin. Sa amin po sa Benguet State, research is number 1. Kung na-research ko lang promotion, oh my goodness. Kaya may mga iba na medyo steady in terms of position. Pero choice nila yun. Wala silang research, wala silang ginawa. Ganun din lang yata ngayon po sa DepEd. Kung wala kang research, steady muna ng konti. Ay, hindi kasi na-research niya. We need to embrace it. Diba? Gusto ko bang helicopter dito? We need to embrace it kasi we are already here. Now another thing. This is another issue that I would like to point out. We can go on answering questions. Ito po di ba sabi ko po kanina, you can write about experiences. Paano kung yung journal lang ang basis mo? You use it as a form of validation doon sa intervention, pero magpapackage ka ng experience lang nila. Meron kasi tayo sa qualitative, something that talks about experience. Sorry to say this is one of the common errors among the researchers that I have met in Benguet DepEd. In Benguet. Just want to be precise about it. Quali, tapos kunada, sige, quali. So mag-i-intervention daw siya ng strategy. After kanong ang strategic classroom, daman din at kanong experiences ng iubing. Now, mag-i-employ daw siya ng, let me just write it. Phenomenology. Phenomenology is, in simple language, meaning of experience. So kung nag-intervention daw siya ng 1 week, gumamit siya ng specific strategy, damatin na kanong experiences ni Uping, i-jeng strategy, and nasaan na, may meaning ba talaga na lumabas? Baka naman validation lang. Baka naman hindi siya deep experience. It's only a shallow experience. In that essence, it's not phenomenology. It's only basic basic qualitative research. Kung nag-interview ka lang, kunwari, muna, baka I'm speaking about that. Baka bumarinig sa phone. Kami natin sino pala yung sa pinara. Halimbawa, nag-interview ka sa classroom na example. Anya nga tati po, mga kasi reading performance tayo. Halimbawa, yun lang na question. Tapos in-arrange mo yung mga responses nila, pinagsama-sama mo yung mga related at pare-pareho. Basic quali lang yan. You just did a basic thematization activity. Kasi ang talagang pheno, paulit-ulit po yan ng interview. As in repetitive. Nag-interview ka ngayon, nag-interview ka ulit. Para lang lumabas yung talagang naramdaman nila. Pero sorry to say this, I mentioned to the researcher dun sa strategy, nung kas ano matama ka special ay na strategy. Na talagang nandun yung deep meaning na naramdaman ng mga students for phenomenology. So, this is one thing that we should not be mistaken about. Pheno and basic qualitative research. Parang ito po, yung common na may-encounter natin. Kasi yung iba po, pareho lang. Kasi baka i-isipin natin, so nasaan yung action dyan? Kasi ang action po dapat ay short term. Yes, I understand. Short term talaga, pero yung kasing ating design, it requires a longer duration, especially yung implementation ng intervention. Ganun po. Thank you for the response. Ba't parang na-discourage po lahat ng mag-research? Ba't parang na-discourage po lahat? Yes, sir.
Since basic qualitative research yung gagawin when you're going to go for the shallow meaning of the research, would it still be
Medical? Would it still be accepted?
yes?
Is it
would
still a
be
research?
accepted, sir?
Yes, it is still accepted. Kasi
Even-
nga, researchers will understand the depth as well of the difficulty. Ito po, let me mention the four. Ito po yung pinaka-quali talaga. One is phenomenology that talks about meaning. The next one is grounded that talks about the theory. The next one is case study that talks about an issue. And narrative that talks about a story. Yun po yung pinaka-apat. Kung walang kwento, walang meaning, walang theory, at walang issue, pero ginawa mo yung qualitative process, basic quality. But it does not make basic quality less of a design under qualitative research because you still answer the particular problem that needs investigation. Kaya huwag tayong mag-alala kung ang nakareflect ay basic quality. Lahat po ng research mahirap. Yeah, that's true. Lahat ng research mahirap. Sino po bang hindi nahihirapang bubuhin natin? Any more, sir? Nasagot ko ba, sir? Baka hindi ko nasagot.
Yes, sir.
Kasi I have to understand, yung mga nakikita nating samples po sa DepEd, lalo na kapag competitions, sa qualitative research po kasi, naka-reflect yung method. Una na, experiences of grade 7 learners, a phenomenological study. Kuna na. So even without me investigating further, nandun na kung ano ginamit yung method. Pheno. Given a chance, I'll be serving as one of the panel members, sasabihin ko sa kanya, so what are the layers of experience that you found while using that strategy? What do I mean layers of experience? Giving birth. May layers of pain ang panganganak. I don't know, of course, but well, I just know. Sa mga naging nanay ko, iba ang pain ng labor, iba ang pain ng actual na nanganak ka na, at iba ang pain ng pag-breastfeed. So parang ganun, layers of experiences. Hindi lang yung isang experience. I enjoyed the strategy. What else? We moved a lot. O, nasa na yung division? Kung meron sanang madideduce. ang hirap nga kasi po kapag bata ang ating subject. Kahit na interview, attention span nga, 15 minutes eh. Parang adults. Yeah. Attention span ko ng children talaga, adults po ang 15 minutes. Alam na natin ang children, lower pa eh. Nagkukwento ka palang research, kung ano may tayabon. The fact that research is not even that really captivating for students. Kasi ang naka-inflict sa kanila, research is difficult. It's an added requirement. Something of this sort. Now let me shift with another concept, observation. Hindi ko pa nabanggit kanina. I only mentioned about interview, I only mentioned about questionnaire, hindi ko na pa sasabihin kung paano gumawa. Kasi technically yung ginagawa ng iba, sometimes is the adoption. But be careful with the adoption. If the adoption has an A in its spelling, meaning, kinuha mo yung instrument, binago mo lang ng konti. If you have an O in the spelling, kinuha mo yung instrument, walang nangyari, iso na lang ang iso, in-carry out mo. That's adoption. Okay, so anong better? Adaption. Adaption. Kailangan pong adaption kasi you have to change a portion of the questionnaire to fit the need of the context or the place where you will have it administered. Ganun po sana yun. Okay. Now, observation. Nasa na vision po Nasaan na si Adi? Yes, it's okay. You want to learn about research? Madali niya Adi, researcher na siya. Sana all. Ang ganda ng curriculum po ng DepEd ngayon, yung senior high. Meron silang quanti, quali, and mixed. Ang saya-saya. Pero sometimes, napapa-question din kami sa college. Nakapapa-question din kami sa college, exactly. Kasi nung napigil ka agad yun, of course, tinitignan din natin yung competency skills ng students and teachers on teaching research. That could be one topic that you can work on. Research competencies of students, teachers. We have to admit it, hindi tayo lahat researcher. No, hindi po tayo lahat researcher. Honestly po, natutunan ko lang yung aking master's thesis. Nung nagtuturo na ako ng research, kasi yung ginagawa ko siya, kinopya ko lang din. I mean, my point sa kinopya ko lang din is, I followed how the previous researchers did it. Pero hindi ko siya kinopya ko yung research ko. Kung baga binasa ko muna, kasi ba? Okay. Kasi gano'n. Tapos naintindihan ko na lang when I started teaching research. In that time, I was already, I don't know. So natapos ko ang research ko without understanding the process. That's my point. Yes po, nangyayari yun. So even advising competencies should also be evaluated. Advising competencies. Hindi po lahat advisor. Kakatuwa yung mga iba, pinipili lang nila kasi feeling nila madaling. You know what I mean? Sa EA kasi, same agad no? Para madaling matapos. Well, satisfaction level din naman yan. Satisfaction level. Na if you're happy with what the outcome may be. Anyway, observation. Observation guide is what we do. Kasi baka nagtanong tayo, anong tatanungin ko sa interview? Gawa ka ng interview guide. There's a different session on the making of an interview guide. And with observation naman, observation guide, checklist lang. Checklist. Ano yung inaasahan mong makita dun sa classroom? Ano yung mga extra na nakita mo na hindi mo inaasahan? Observation guide. So habang nandun ka, uy! Di ba? Depending on the kind of research that you have. Pero, put an extra, kasi kung ang i-observe mo lang din ay nandito, limited. Limited. Kasi nga binirok mo lang muadda, taamong mo lang nalagay yung results ng more. I hope you get my point. So you need an extra. Others. But you have to be a keen observer as well. How many times should we be observing? Kung student behavior ang usapan ko, kung student behavior, once is not enough. You cannot observe student behavior one time, full time. Kasi the new person in the classroom will dictate a different behavior from the students. Ang mga estudyante ko tatahimik yan kung may bagong tao sa room. Agree po tayo? Okay, so until that time, na medyo, same yung ugali. Second pa, third, fourth, we don't know when. Basta yung natural na. Kahit nandyan yung bisita, natural lang yung behavior, that's when the real observation happens. Diyan ka na magre-record. At syempre, ang mga tao po ayaw na video record. Especially in the classroom. So what do? Kung ang inyong research ay sa speaking part, buti na lang kasi pwede mong i-record voice recording. Pero kung ang iyong research ay more than speaking, it's actually looking at the kinesthetic or whatsoever factors. You need other assistance. So apart from you looking at them directly, dapat meron pang assistance din. Kasi field note mangyayari. That's a danger of observation. Marami na pong nahuli dito dahil sa thesis. Thesis procedure, observe. Kung nagtatangay, nagpandemya, observe nyo. The observation in the classroom is far different from what you observe online. Bakit mag-open ba ng camera yung mga yan? I doubt. So anong i-observe nyo? Wala po. Isong wala, nag-delay yung mga mag-observe sana. Ginawa lang nila interview process. Yeah. Parang general picture lang po ito, ladies and gentlemen. I hope meron pa rin tayong na-realize doon sa actual research process. Thank you for the response. Maraming salamat.
So,
Question and answer po tayo. Yes.
So, mag-formulate ng title.
Okay.
So, yun yung mahirap.
Yung title na mahirap.
Title. Yes po. Yung title actually, ano po yun, pwedeng gawin at the end. The working title can be done after you're done with the process.
Parang parang yun yung guidance.
Yung kasi yung, pero ano, we can just put an initial title. Yes. Kasi lalo na kung format natin yan, initial title lang yun, pero magbabago din yan. Kasi mas marami po tayong marirealize after the conduct of the actual research. And as much as possible, hopefully kung sa guideline natin, nakalagay ang 15 words, sana yung ating lakas. Yes, Adi. Ilabas mo yan, Adi. Hindi mo tatanungin, ay, si Ma'am na lang po sa likod.
Sir, so how long would the intervention?
Okay, maraming salamat. Thank you for that question. Wala akong specific na libro na talagang nag-suggest ng intervention ay ganito. Actually, dun tayo sasaya sa literature review. What do I mean? Kung experimental po yan or quasi-experimental, i-suggested na galing mga pa 3 months. 3 months. Pero ang 3 months na yan, hindi lang naman isang chapter yan. Baka more chapters pa eh. Kasi yung ginawang material siguro, addressing the competencies, it should be taught not only for one grading, but also for the next. So depende po dun sa skills. Pero ito kung sinasabi ko na depende sa literature review, kung halimbawa, good for one grading lang din naman yung material natin, how long is one grading? Quarterly, tama po?
8 weeks.
8
to 9
weeks.
weeks.
So ilang months po yun, ma'am?
2 months.
2 months halos. Okay, we can have that. How do you justify it? Kasi yung competency na gusto mo ma-improve sa kanila is taken lang talaga in 8 weeks. So example lang, ma'am, yun, no? Pero, less yung material, less din yung competencies kasi most essential lang, kaya baka bumaba ka ng 2 months yung intervention mo. If that happens, ma'am, maghanap ka ng literature na nagsasabi na ang intervention may actually be carried out in a span of this number of weeks. Sino gagamitin natin? Yung mga authorities sa research in terms of conduct of intervention. And ilagay po natin yung citation. Huwag niyo po ilagay ang Cuilan 2023. Kasi I'm suggesting po a process that you can do versus telling you directly na dapat 3 months or what. Pero there are kasi po interventions that are technically accounted for in 3 months or more. Meron din naman kahit less. Actually po, may nabasa po ako 2 weeks. May nabasa po ako ng 2 weeks.
2 months mas na nabasa ko, sir.
Okay, that's
2
great.
months.
2 months.
But when I tried, siguro kung nai-research ko yung ginawa ko, talagang hindi niya kaya.
Okay. Dapat more. Okay, yes. Sakto. Ito lang naman ay guide natin. Kung sino dito yung authority, well, isipin na lang natin, they are really persons who did first a research employing twice experimental. Ganon. May mga authority ba tayo sa Pilipinas? Meron naman po tayo mga local researchers. Local researchers in the Philippines that we can also follow and consult, by the way. Na-try ko ba natin yung contact ng mismong researchers? They respond to. Halimbawa, mag-a-adapt ka ng instrument. I think strong point yun na kinontak mo yung researcher, nag-respond siya sa'yo, pinapagamit niya sa'yo yung instrument niya or questionnaire niya, and you can just indicate in your methodology that this has been in consultation with the actual author, allowing the adoption of the instrument. Sana. Diba ang dali-dali? Grabe. Sana kain na lang ang research. Then, gawin natin output. Ma'am, no. Any more, ma'am? Kasi baka meron po tayo gusto i-clarify.
Yung sa number of respondents or ano?
Ma'am, quality over quantity.
Sa quality.
Okay. Depende po sa design yung quality, ma'am. Meron kasi tayong...
Mix na lang, sir. Let's say that sa mix.
Sa mix? Sige po, wait ma'am. Mang-illustrate ko na lang muna yung mix. Okay lang po ba? Para lang ma-illustrate natin. Wait lang po. Ilan po tayong teachers lahat dito, ma'am? 32. Kung gagamit ako ng total enumeration, 32 is 32. Wala na tayong magagawa kasi total enumeration yung aking sampling. Lalo na at ito talaga ang aking local of the study. Halimbawa, high school po tayo, nangyayari po ito. 5 English teachers lang ang nasa isang high school. Tapos ang design ko, qualitative. So, interview of 5 lang ang may English teacher. Is that allowed? Yes. Kasi nga, total enumeration, sila lang yung nandun. Wala tayong magagawa. Pero kung strict tayo sa data gathering, 5 in any way is accepted already for quali, but you have to justify further. Kasi pwede namang idamay mo yung kabilang school para managdagan yung price. Bakit hindi mo ginawa? Na-imagine po natin, 15 to 30 is suggested for quantity. 30 sana ang meron at this limit. Pero since you are using a particular instrument, will you have to limit it to 30? Especially if you believe there are more who may possibly respond. So for quantitative research, while we have 30 as an agreed upon quote-unquote policy, you can actually exceed because some of the questionnaires may be invalidated. Paano kung ma-invalidate yung isa? Kasi hindi kompleto yung responses. Na-excite ka eh, pinasagot mo lang, hindi mo binantayan, kinuha mo ka agad, wala na yung mga respondents. And you found in your assessment after na invalidated yung isa. That makes it 29. Wala namang masyadong issue. However, you had the chance to increase it and you did not. In any way, the statisticians will also tell you of a specific number for that matter. Kung ito ay reliability testing of the material, 15 is okay. If you want to undergo reliability testing for the material, a test of internal consistency, na kapag ginamit mo yung material sa ibang audience, baka ganun din ang mostly ma-derive na response. That's reliability. Now, 15. Halimbawa, kayo po ang aking magiging pinaka-respondent sa aking research. Hindi po lahat ng kwento may kwenta. Yes. Kailangan natin ng kwento na may kwenta. Para magkaroon ng issue, para magkaroon ng story. Eh kung wala namang kwenta, pero ginawa mo yung process, basic quality. Pero again, sir, it does not make it low. Kaya kung nag-basic quality tayo, hindi na sinasabing less value yung research. Yung mix, ma'am, it's a different thing. Medyo marami-rami siyang designs, pero I'll give you one. Mix kasi is convergence or sequential. Wait lang po Kanina po actually, pwede natin gawing mix yung kanina eh. Di ba yung number 1 question natin is yung test? Number 2 question natin kanina is yung interview. Hindi po kay quanti yan, at ito naman ay quali, sasabihin mo kaagad na, oh, I have a mixed method, design. Hindi po sa pag-identify ng question. Ang aga po ma-answeran ti number, ma-answeran ti words, mix that gagos. The word mix, you have to mix.
Mix.
Eh kung hindi naman minix yan, pwede walang mix. I mean, wala sa hindi mo minix, kinonect mo ba si quanti sa quali? Nagkaroon ka ba ng convergence? In-relate mo ba kanya dati may isa kan may isa? If you did not do that, loosely speaking lang it's not mixed. Eh ano? Kasi may quanti ka, may quali ka. Wala namang mix. O di descriptive lang. Sa nang buhay mo. So, kung ayaw mo ng mix, sasabihin ng advisor, mag-mix method ka na lang. Descriptive. Kasi mas madali ang descriptive. Walang thematization. When I say walang thematization, di mo na kailangan mag-cluster sa interview results. All you have to do is to describe everything that they have been saying without necessarily connecting those which are related. Walang categorization. Right? Basta po na-imagine natin, yun po ang importante. Sa susunod po naman yung mag-present sa atin, ay tanongin na muna natin, so what's your purpose of conducting research? Ay wow. So how do you justify the statistical procedure para matanggal po yung bahala na si statistician? Sana part din ng defense natin sa statistical procedure. Kanina, inulit-ulit ko po ang sex, pardon me Sex po kasi ang ginagamit for now, hindi pa gender. Hindi pa gender. Mahirap po ng questionnaire na nakalagay LGBTQ+. Mas madali lang po ang male-female. Okay, dalawa lang. Male-female. However, siguro kung yan ay research under gender and development, well, ibang usapan na po yan. Talagang you have to use this. Pero how do you know? How do you know? With the culture in the Philippines, hindi po ito US. I have been sending emails in the US, may mga nagre-reply. Alam ko ang style ng kanilang reply. Nandito yung pangalan, name. Nandito yung kanilang position. Nakalagay sa last, pronoun. Pronoun. Kasi academe now in the US, the academicians may now decide on what pronoun they will use. Ang nai-counter ko lang naman, he, she, gano'n. May magulat ka kung they, kunana. But it's possible. It's possible. Pwedeng he, she, they. plus. We don't know what the plus is. Eh sa US, rampant na rampant yan. Compared to the Philippines, compared to whatever is observed in the Philippines. Lalo pa sa highlands. Okay. So we have to be careful. There are specific tests undertaken depending on the kind of profile that you will choose. People, careful lang. Careful lang po. Sagutin ko muna ito, yung sa mix kanina. Pwede kasi sa isang mixed method design, yung sinasabi kong sequential, hindi ka pwedeng mag-move sa number 2 kung hindi ka nag-interpret dito. Carry it out, analyze, interpret, only then that you can go to number 2. Meron namang sabay. Nag-gather ka dyan, nag-gather ka na rin dito, nag-analyze ka, nag-interpret, saka ka palang mag-mix. And that is what we call convergence. Parallel, triangulation, convergent parallel. I don't expect everybody to remember. Pero at least narinig po natin na hindi po, question 1 is quanti, question 2 is quali, make siya gus. Kung sinabi ko ng region, joke lang. I'm just joking. After ng speaking ko, by the way, sa region, hindi na pa kayo invite, I don't know why. Pero ang topic namin doon is written communication, written correspondence. Kaya ginawa ko halimbawa kung paano ako message ni sir. Pero I had to be blatant about it talaga. I asked for samples of the letters, and I had to edit the letters. I presented my edit, and that's what happened. I was not invited again. O yung mami po ang DepEd, may template po tayo, di ba? Kakatawag ni sir, anong pangalan po nung galing dito? Sir Lartok? Kasi sa DepEd daw, meron pati yung mga transition device suggested. Ang gamitin daw dapat, moreover. Ganun. Nandun daw sa manual. You have a manual po?
Yes.
Ayun.
Manual of style.
Wala po tayong magagawa. Kasi kahit magsalita tayo about structure and format of letter, if you have a DepEd memorandum that talks about it, well, congratulations, you cannot break that. Okay, I was saying, ano po yung stop natin kanina? O meron dapat tayong patuloy? Sequential. Sequential is, yun po yun ma'am. Before you move to the next problem, dapat natapos muna ito. Sequence. And kapag ka-sequential yun ma'am, mas importante ang isa sa quantity or quality. Merong mas malaking impact. Sige po, let me mention. Sequential explanatory is exactly this. Nauna si quantity, sumunod si quality. So sino mas importante? Si quantity. 70-30. Yun namang sequential exploratory. Nauna si quality, sumunod si quantity. So sino mas importante? Si quality. Na-imagine natin. Basta ganun, meron ganun weight, sequential. Pero yung sinabi ko pong convergent, walang nauuna, sabay lang, that's 50-50. That's convergent parallel. But these are things po kasi na theoretical na. Mayat lang pagsawan para at least marinig natin kung may mag-present po in the future sa DepEd ng mixed method, tanungin natin, is there an order or everything is balanced?